What is up, Key Issues? Nick here with a brand new Versus video, and you may be looking down at the date and thinking, is this a joke because it's April Fool's? But we don't play games here with power scaling at Key Issues. That being said, today we're here to break down a very legitimate fight between Michael Jordan and the Mad Titan Thanos of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This is really the fight that you didn't even know that you needed in your life, but because we're generous YouTubers and we have heard your heart's innermost battle desires, we're going to give it to you. Now, both characters are, of course, the peak of their respective universes. On one side, we have Thanos, the most notorious character in the entire MCU, a man who mows down entire civilizations as his literal day job, and on the other side, we have Michael Jordan, 6-time NBA champion, 14-time All-Star, 10-time scoring champion, Olympic gold medalist, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist, and of course, the savior of the galaxy. Michael Jordan is so well known and popular that he's the bar that every other profession is compared to. Gordon Ramsay, he's the Michael Jordan of chefs. Me, I'm the Michael Jordan of Key Issues. Thanos, he's merely the Michael Jordan of MCU villains. Both of these characters are, of course, cutthroat, both with a killer instinct that will do anything to win. So let's dissect the powers of each combatant and begin with Thanos. Thanos is, of course, the main antagonist of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He's been stated to be the most powerful being in the galaxy. He's a genius tactician and an expert in hand-to-hand combat. With just his skill and base strength, he was able to embarrass the strongest there is Hulk. Now, before you start squawking about Infinity Stones, keep in mind, the Russos have stated that Thanos did not need to use the Power Stone in his fight with the Hulk. In actuality, they are relatively equal in terms of strength level. But you know what? That being said, let's just discuss it. We all know that you want to talk about the ultimate Nintendo Power Glove, aka the Infinity Gauntlet. Now, with the Infinity Gauntlet, Thanos is amped to a pretty insane level. The Space Stone allows him to alter space around him and open portals and manipulate matter. Doing so allowed him to teleport meteors as an attack against the Avengers on Titan. The Power Stone, when activated, grants him immense strength. With it, he was able to crush the surface of the moon, and he can use the stone as direct blasts. Next up is the Mind Stone. He hasn't really flexed a lot of his prowess with the Mind Stone, but the stone can fire energy blasts and can also control and warp the minds of his enemies. Next up, we have the Time Stone, which grants him the ability to control time itself and rewind things when they don't go his way, which is something that would have been very useful for me in high school with women. Sorry to go off on a tangent, but you know, whatever, I rebounded, it's all fine. The Reality Stone allows him to alter reality itself. This stone, in our opinion, is the deadliest of all the Infinity Stones. And finally, we have the Soul Stone, which allowed Thanos to defeat Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, in the smoothest singing competition of all time. Actually, that last one didn't happen. The Soul Stone is incredibly powerful, but really we don't know what it can do yet. We don't really have the full grasp of what it's capable of doing, but we do know that it allowed Thanos to determine which one of Doctor Strange's doppelgangers was the real one. So when you combine all of these stones in the gauntlet, it was able to wipe out all of the sentient life in the universe, and Thanos can even combine the strength of all the stones to fire off incredible blasts of energy. As for Air Jordan's feats, well, he averaged 36 and 5 throughout his entire career and has become a legendary and iconic figure in the eyes of people throughout the world. But how tough is Michael in a fight? First, let's take a look at his speed. In Space Jam, Michael is regularly seen outpacing the likes of Bugs Bunny, who will be our measuring stick in terms of speed for the majority of this video. Now, Bugs has been able to outrun lasers from space, and the calculation for this feat puts him at faster than light. If you'd like to see the math for this feat, we will have the link in the description. However, Bugs himself admits that he may not be the fastest he could be without performance-enhancing drugs, as he's only able to keep up with Roadrunner when he's doping.
Actually, I can't run this fast. I'm just imitating the Roadrunner. And also, I have these to help me.
So now we've established that Bugs is in fact slower than the Roadrunner, but how fast is Roadrunner? It's pretty easy. Roadrunner is massively hypersonic, as he can outrun lightning bolts pretty casually. So if Michael's able to keep up with and even outmaneuver the Monstars, who are able to react and hit the Roadrunner, that makes Michael's travel speed and combat speed massively hypersonic plus. Now, massively hypersonic plus is typically anywhere between Mach 1000 and Mach 8810.2. Really puts MJ's speed into comparison when you look back at clips of him trashing the Utah Jazz. Am I right, boys? But we can't base the whole battle off Michael's speed. We need to discuss Michael's strength and durability, because while speed is important, if he can't hurt Thanos, then he won't be able to stop him. Let's start with MJ's durability. Michael has been shown to be consistently more durable than the other Looney Tunes, as seen during the halftime of their game against the Monstars. Michael was tanking hits from the Monstars and showed no visible damage, while the rest of the Looney Tunes were very badly injured. So how tough are the Monstars? Alone, they are far above the power of the Looney Tunes, even accounting for what we call the Toon Force. The Toon Force is an ability quite similar to reality warping, only it's, pretty much only used for comedic effect. It's also the ability to replace or apply absurd laws of the universe. The user gains the ability to bend or even outright overhaul the traditional laws of physics and reality itself at will to create those that are much more lenient in what can and cannot happen. Michael even has access to this ability, as he was turned into a basketball by the Monstars and he recovered pretty easily from that. But back to the Monstars' power. The Looney Tunes consistently have insane strength and durability feats. Yosemite Sam and Martian once had a battle that ended with the creation of new constellations. Daffy Duck has survived a black hole. And that's just 2 feats in a long storied history of ridiculous things that the Looney Tunes are capable of accomplishing. The Monstars were able to not only hurt the Looney Tunes, but even their Toon Force regeneration took longer than usual to kick in after being hit. Michael not only endured the same attacks from the Monstars with no visible damage, but he was able to deal more damage than physically hurt the Monstars. So all of this is great, but how would this fight go down if Thanos was to meet his airness, Michael Jordan, in a chance encounter? So remember the speed scaling that we covered for the Looney Tunes earlier in this video? Thanos is nowhere near that. Thanos scales to the Avengers, who, without Quicksilver, top out around hypersonic plus. Thor is clearly the fastest living Avenger. We know this as he was the only one perceived to be moving during the scene where Quicksilver is running laps around all of the other Avengers. All of the relevant Avengers, such as Hulk and Iron Man, scale to this speed as well. All 3 of these characters were able to tag Thanos consistently. Just to reinforce this speed scale, Hela, who was able to defeat awakened Thor, was also not able to dodge his lightning. According to the High Energy Astrophysics Division at the Harvard-Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics, the average speed of lightning is Mach 1294. Not being able to dodge lightning keeps the verse consistently at high hypersonic plus. If you want to severely highball the MCU, you could stretch them to massively hypersonic. Now, Mike scales to the Monstars, who routinely keep up with massively hypersonic plus Roadrunner. So Michael would easily blitz Thanos before he even has time to think, completely negating the Infinity Gauntlet, as Thanos has to physically close his hand, think of the action he wants to produce, and then activate the stones he wants to use. Now, I don't think it's any secret that Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet is more powerful than MJ, as just 1 stone is enough to decimate a planet and he could wipe out trillions of lives almost instantly, but is he durable enough to withstand the attacks from number 23? In our opinion, no. Thanos doesn't really have that many insane durability feats without the Infinity Gauntlet to aid him, so the Hulk was enough to stagger him, and the Russos stated that they were pretty much equal. The Hulk is most easily compared to Thor, who took the brunt of a neutron star. Now, people always come back to this feat and they go, Thor tanked the full force of a neutron star. No, he didn't. He tanked the full force of a neutron star that was in the process of being restarted, and guess what? He died from it. Without the magic of Stormbreaker, he would have died on the deck of the Nidavellir looking like a hot dog that was left on the grill for too long. The force of the star is calculated to be 3.923 plus 10 to the 14th tons of TNT, or 392.3 teratons, which equates to roughly a large country. So if you want that full calculation for that durability feat, check the description as well. Comparing Hulk's durability to Thor's and Thanos' to the Hulk, on the high end, Thanos is around large country level durability in his base, un-Infinity Stone powered form. You can easily make the case that he's higher, but even giving Thanos the benefit of the doubt and giving him planetary durability, Michael Jordan still scales to the Looney Tunes, who consistently have star-level attack potency and durability. And last time I checked, stars are bigger than countries. Unfortunately for Thanos, he's just outclassed in terms of speed and strength in his base form. Now, if speed was equalized, then Thanos would decimate MJ with a complete Infinity Gauntlet, but we're not nerfing his airness Michael, so he easily blitzes Thanos and dunks on the Mad Titan in a fraction of a second. Thus, today's battle has been decided. Air Jordan wins. Pretty much any way you slice it, MJ can't be stopped. Now, I know a lot of you out there are probably saying, these are ridiculous comparisons. Thanos is a god. Look at everything he's accomplished. But let me stop you right there, okay? These are cold, hard facts, logic, power scaling, and mathematical calculation. Mike can't be stopped. He is a wrecking machine. Even history is on MJ's side. It took Thanos the better part of 11 years to collect some rocks and complete his plan, and we all know that he's going to lose by the end of Avengers Endgame anyway. However, MJ cleaned out the whole NBA, won every award you can think of, cemented a legacy, won 6 championships in 15 seasons, and he even took some time off in between to work on his golf game, start a crazy profitable clothing company, play piss-poor minor league baseball, and give away $500 million to charity, not to mention all of the gambling. Maybe when Nick Fury hit that quantum pager at the end of Infinity War, I bet you're thinking to yourself right now, he should have called Air Jordan. That is it for today's Versus video. Facts don't lie and MJ is the king. Now, whether you agree or disagree, we would appreciate you sharing this video with friends who are interested in Avengers Endgame or, sports. So if you do disagree, why don't you step into the court of our Discord, where we have hundreds of members standing by and ready to debate. The link for that is in the description for all of our videos. This has been Nick with Key Issues, reminding you that LeBron James is actually also going to be starring in Space Jam 2, so keep that in mind. We're probably going to have some power scaling videos for that coming out too. But that is it for today, and remember the motto, comics over everything.